Hello, welcome to Rolling Escapades Season 2, Episode 36, Part 1, the web series in which we play Dungeons & Dragons and put it online for your entertainment. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll come away feeling extremely entertained. We are down at Evan tonight because he has to work, so that is what it is. Apologies for no episode last week. We once again had life happen, which life seems to be a regular occurrence, unfortunately. We are still sponsored by Destai, as always. There will be a logo to my left at some point, and there will be links in the description. Go click on those, and you can search the wares by Enjoy. It's pretty awesome chainmail and macrame things. You can also find links to the artist, Christopher Rolls, who's on the character art, his Facebook page where you can get commissions, and his DM's Guild products page where you can buy things like Izzy's slightly used airships. Last session, 2 weeks ago, you guys were travelling through the foothills of the Soulless Peak with Shamshir and Erebus leading the way. Shamshir's natural ability to traverse the various forms of terrain enabled you to move through with some speed. You didn't end up lost, you didn't end up stuck down a ravine you didn't want to be. Par found a small cave for you to rest up in, having spent a lot of the day travelling around and doing things already. And overnight you heard the sounds of some sort of hunting cry and some sort of weird low moaning sound from a creature that passed the cave entrance. But fortunately nothing detected you, you just stayed nicely hidden in your cave. The following day, you continued through the foothills and happened across the settlement of Blightfall, the fallen elven city, where you could see strange black spikes of ruined buildings and these weird little circular-shaped things sitting on spikes. And as you watched, you saw a group of 4 humanoids come running out into the foothills in the direction that you had been travelling. Some of you turned to leave, some of you kept an eye on as the ones that turned their backs on the settlement felt like their hairs on the back of their neck stand up and this weird coldness brush over them, and you all felt this sort of strange repulsion from the settlement. You carried on travelling and eventually, despite your best efforts, were detected by the hunting party, who successfully caught up and ran you down. You had some good ideas to try and escape. Unfortunately, the luck did not fall in your favour and you ended up in a fight with them, which was a brutal fight with just the 4 corrupted elves. But with some help from your Shadakai guides, you were able to eventually slay them all. You investigated the bodies a little bit. Icarus removed an eye from one of them and discovered that behind the eye in the eye socket it was rotten and there were maggots just crawling around, which is unpleasant. But aside from that, they didn't really have anything of use, and that is where we ended off.
You got some longbows over there.
Oh yeah, there was their weaponry was something you were able to recover as well.
And my mage hand missed.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What wood were the bows made out of?
Wood.
Woody wood.
Yeah. Woody wood. I don't know. I haven't
Do
thought
you have
about
a
it.
degree in identifying wood?
It was more the trees are dead, or at least the weird black wood.
Dead wood. No.
You
I
don't
thought it
know.
would be bone, to be honest.
Ooh.
It's made of wood.
Oh.
Yeah, so you are standing in a ravine. There are various rock piles and whatnot around you, and I think as a group you are looking pretty beaten and bruised.
No, I'm fine.
Then we have our scout.
Oh shit.
Off, go find us a cave then.
Excellent at volunteering for things.
I just need to bring up Shamshir. Please work. Right, so I assume you guys are basically looking for somewhere to take a short rest so that you can recover a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep, wonderful.
I shall help Shamshir scout for a cave
Full
thing.
location.
Yeah.
Shamshir does suggest, if it's possible, for pass without trace, so that you can move, and if anything else comes a looking, you won't leave any tracks to be followed. But you don't have
That's
any
not
key
gonna
points,
happen.
so you cannot do that. So that is what it is. Wonderful. So make as you're looking around, it's a perception check to say Shamshir is looking.
Yeah, I'm helping.
You're helping. Wonderful. Cool. So actually I got a 19, which is plenty. So yeah, looking around, you guys are able to find a cave that's suitable. It's not quite as it's not a double cavern like the previous one, but it is somewhere you can set up out of the way, slightly hidden. Nothing's really going to spot you unless it walks into the cave mouth, kind of thing. And that's where you are set up. And then you begin taking a short rest.
Should I go invisible, and while you guys are having resting for an hour, I go back out and I just like try and sweep the tracks away as best I can while invisible, and so kind of like so hunters, because then hunters won't see the tracks between.
I presume you're going to then sweep your own tracks afterwards.
Well, yeah.
as
Obviously.
well. Just checking.
But
You
then,
don't need a
but then
rest.
we'll only be leaving tracks from this cave further up, which, you know, if that's more likely that they'll miss that.
Well, if you don't need a rest, then sure.
Okay.
Sounds
We want to
logical.
scout for us.
If I don't see you around.
That's no use.
If I'm not back in an hour, I'm dead.
Cool. So make a stealth check to quietly, and then make a survival roll to remove the tracks.
Ooh. Stealth check 27.
Nice.
Survival. That's a less good modifier. That's a less good roll. 12.
12. Okay. Sure. So you make your way out and do your utmost to hide tracks and push things out of the way and make it look like people haven't covered here. You think you've done a pretty good job.
45 minutes into the endeavour, just as this invisible force goes around sweeping this mountainside, there's just said out loud is like, oh, I should have brought a broom. just randomly from around nowhere on the side of a mountain, this voice just goes, oh, I should have brought a broom.
The
Right.
resident, what was it, caretaker of the mountains.
You guys will finish a short rest. Nothing will bother you through your short rest. So you get to spend hit dice. Remember, you get to add your con mod to each die that you roll.
Oh, that's different then.
Yes. Each die you roll gets to add a con mod, and you can burn dice one at a time until you're happy, or until you hit your max.
14 plus 9. I gained 23 of the 24 needed.
Okay, that is slightly.
Another 5.
Cool.
Do I do one more?
Shit gets to basically here with 2 hit dice. Rolling 19 on the dice.
Oh, what's his con?
Plus 3. You just heal 25 hit points out of a max of a possible 26 using it as a D10. It's 2d10.
I got 23 out of a maximum of 27.
And I got 58 out of 7 d10s.
Yeah, still pretty bad.
Right.
It could have worse.
That's all of them.
So you guys are rested up and are essentially, I assume, just continuing onwards on your journey, attempting to move quietly, following the blip, attempting to make your way to the base
Did you
of.
get your key points back?
Yes.
Short rest, which is great.
So I never passed about a trace to move you.
Good.
I'm asking this
Well,
before we
it
leave.
only lasts an hour, and that's the problem. We don't.
We're still quite close to Whitefall. The lack of tracks would be good.
It's an hour less of tracks to be followed by really, really hurty elves.
I was
Danny
still
Savvy,
hearing
murder,
those
murder.
war cries.
No. You're not hearing those at the moment.
Anytime you want to hear them, just let me know.
Pretty good at person.
Please no.
Not for now.
Okay.
It sounds exactly like Tarzan.
Or when you're ready.
Right. Everyone make a stealth check then.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, spaghetti-o.
Was that with or without past that trace, Sam?
Without.
Okay then.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, I've got you beat. I have the lowest possible score.
Great, I've got the highest possible score.
I got 0.
Cool.
Flat 0.
Hold around with a 0.
2 minus 2.
We would have
Disadvantage.
had 10 anyway, so it's probably still.
Well, it's not the lowest possible score because you can get -1.
Could have gotten -1.
Tarek,
Yeah.
13.
13. Wonderful.
Oh, right. Okay, no, that's good. Even stealthy ones are making
No.
loud
It
It's
noise.
13.
13. Icarus.
23.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely honest.
Par.
9.
What the hell happened?
Disadvantage, yo.
Yeah.
Everyone
well,
going, "Cast
no,
by
I
that
can't
trace."
stand with you and with him because
12.
12.
With
I rolled a
Robin
7.
Hill, was still like, oh.
I'm fine.
Shamsha got a 23.
Oh,
Why is
so-
that fine?
We've got an average of about 14.
You got an average of a fail against most creatures.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
And then,
guys, I was carrying on my tambourine and I fell over.
and then Shamsha is attempting to find a way through
Also, your shoes.
the hills. Are you, Eris, are you helping Shamsha again?
Yes, I will be.
Wonderful. That is a 22.
Yeah.
So that is, yes, which is enough to lead you through the remainder of the foothills, continuing to follow the blip and the way that it is now moving as you get closer. And you come out and you're looking up at the mountainside.
Do we
Yeah.
see the road at all?
You cannot see the settlement, no. What you are able to see as you look around, which is also helped by the direction the blip is telling you, is you look slightly towards your left and down the mountain range, you can see a mountain pass heading up into the mountains,
Oh, boy.
How
That-
convenient.
which is
Oh,
where
great.
your blip is telling you to go.
I'm just picturing some massive neon signs like over here. Yeah, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to follow it, of course.
So,
Mm.
guys, make your way
I
over.
would like to say that there's a single valley leading to the castle to get to near the Shadowclad elves, or actually the Corrupted Elves. There's very likely an ambush.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Then do we want to hide ourselves now?
How far out does it look like until we get to the...
You're not that far. You're talking like 80, 100 feet.
Oh, right.
You've come out very, very close to it. That is the advantage of using the blip and how high Shamshir has rolled to lead you through the hills. You have come out quite close to it. There isn't, however, much in the way of cover. So if there is an ambush, doesn't matter how high your stealth rolls are. If they can look at you, you're going to be seen.
Yeah. Probably not then.
What
Let's make that assessment.
what could we be ambushed from?
I mean,
Is it just an open field in
Purple
front of us
worms.
between
Things coming out of the
foothills
ground, things flying in the
and
sky.
yeah, looking
Invisibility.
direct there, it's more or less just a straight route there. There's nothing, there's obviously the mountains themselves. If something wants to try and hide up on the side of the mountains, but even look at that, they are very, very steep.
Not too bad then.
And there's nothing we can see in the openness between here and there.
Nothing between here and there. And then there's the edge of the foothills, which if something wanted to hide, you know, there might be a cave down there that you can't see, but even then that is not going to be a very good ambush, because once they can see you, you can see them, sort of thing. So
Possibility of traps.
We'll just have to keep an eye out for traps.
Again, as long as we're aware that we might be.
yeah,
Just keep on the lookout.
cool. So you're just going to make your way over towards the pass, yes?
We sure
Yeah.
you don't want to apply the thing on us?
Yeah.
What is your marching order for this?
I presume me and Shamshi would be at front.
Scouting, yeah.
Walking.
Followed by the two
following
heavies.
path.
Cool. So put you two in front. There, you scouting up in front, or
I was standing behind the two heavies.
standing up to
I want to be
areas?
second.
You second.
I like.
Be right in the middle, so when you explode,
So when he goes boom,
Oh,
kills all of
lovely.
us. Yeah.
gets
What?
gets everyone involved.
What side is mountain? What side? is
Mountain's
cliff?
this side, cliff is this
Can
side.
you swap me and Eldoran over so I'm by the drop?
It's not. It's not a. No, there isn't a drop either side.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's like that, isn't it? So you've got the path there. So you have a drop one side and then a wall the other
Oh
side.
no,
There was a
you've
valley going in.
you're walking down a valley, so you're at the.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, I
There-
thought it
there
was
isn't
going
a
up
drop.
the mountain, up the side of it.
We're not up
Not
the
not
mountain
yet. This is
Not
just
yet.
getting there.
Yeah, I was looking at this and saying there's just a small valley with just rocks. It's
Yeah.
such a good ambush point
Yeah.
if it can be set up for it.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
going at the back. Yeah.
Cool. So you guys have made a nice line.
Do you have mage armor on yet?
No.
Do you want to like move back a little bit and then cast it and then come back? I don't know, just
Cast it now.
Cast it now. None of you have seen him explode.
We haven't, so we really can't.
You don't know that he might explode. I mean,
Yeah,
you might know.
yeah,
that he
I
explode.
don't know what the worry is really. It's
Mhm.
that is true actually. I might just randomly turn into a tiger, you know, you never know.
I mean, to be fair, you two probably would know. You've had enough experience with mages. At this point,
I've
you've
seen
seen.
plenty of
form of
people go
sorcerer.
boom.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
mage armor have actually a visible effect on someone?
Not
like a
after
shimmer.
cast. During casting, it would have the effect of the armor appearing
Yeah, I can
around
imagine
you.
like a shimmer down them, but
Yeah, but then
after
that's
that-
it. Yeah.
So no one will be any the wiser.
Well, you don't have armor.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Just rested, we're all ready to go,
Yeah.
and boom.
Right. So you make
we,
your
are,
way.
we are assuming you're not an idiot. That is something we are assuming. Yeah, we are assuming that you would cast mage armor at some point. Rather
Yeah.
just walk around being extremely squishy.
Have I shown any reason?
Yeah, he doesn't need mage
He's
armor,
too
it's
fit to
fun.
die.
Yeah, when he was Tarzaning around the library. Yeah.
He didn't die. He should have died, but he didn't die.
That was
I
amazing.
had mage armor on at that point.
Ah,
The thing that saved you, and you've done. Sure.
So
See, if I was in danger, that'd be different.
Are you asking to be smited? just to be
just
cast?
smited by the
We're
gods.
walking around the island of instant death, and you'll be like, "Whoa, not in any danger."
You make your way towards the pass.
Oh,
And look up towards the route. The pass itself heads straight into the mountains. It's not difficult. It looks like you can more or less sort of. It's going to be sort of climbing. It's not going to be a difficult climb, but it is very steep. It is very windy. Even just where you're looking, you can't see very far where the pass is. You can just see it follows up. It is going to be not a difficult climb, but it is going to be draining to make the climb. But this is where, as you get to the pass, your blip just literally just says straight up.
you're going in the right direction. Continue.
Execute vertical takeoff.
I don't know how to fly. Please help me.
Acquire a VTOL.
Engage company.
Send back up. Okay, while we're
So-
going along, I want to just keep an eye out
Yep.
for any hostiles.
Sure, make a perception check.
17.
17.
Yep.
Bear with 1 sec.
Okay.
Cool. Apologies for the audio that may have been a bit naff. There we go. We're using the right microphones now.
Nice.
Oh.
Continue.
We shall continue onwards. Cool. So you're keeping an eye out. There doesn't seem to be anything you can ascertain as being a danger. It's just a difficult, arduous climb for which I would like everyone to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Are we next to Eldorant?
You are within 10 feet.
That
What's
makes
that?
that
Plus what?
Plus 3.
Plus 3.
That's hilarious because that's that.
That's why I asked for a marching order.
Oh. Okay.
I rolled a 3.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
means
no.
I have a con of.
You're a sorcerer, you've got
What's
con
con
proficiency.
save?
Yeah, I've got +6.
Right. Eldoran, what was your con save?
My 12 +3.
12.
Oh, con save,
You-
of course.
you
I
are
was looking
fine.
at the actual
So the
thing.
climb,
12.
as I said, it appeared to be drying. As you started making your way up, it is exhausting, it is tiring, it is an arduous climb. But you don't feel exhausted, you're just drained.
22.
You're not bothered.
12.
12, you're also fine.
Here you goes +3, right?
Yeah,
Cool. 26.
Oh.
whatever.
Might have failed this.
You, because you are a dwarf and is used to climbing mountain passes, have advantage on the roll.
Oh.
I've already got advantage from something else because I've got ADV in the brackets next to the thing. I think
For
it's
what?
the giant.
For saving throws.
Bell.
Advantage on con saves.
Yeah. I rolled with advantage
Well, that's
anyway.
con
Against
against
poison.
poison.
It's against
Oh, it's
poison.
against poison, right? I
Yeah.
should add that note.
Yes, there we go. Yeah.
Either way, I may have failed because I got a 30.
Roll. Are you sure? 20.
Cool. All right.
Natural 20 plus 7 plus 3.
Yeah.
You just have a drill out and you just carving your
I
arm.
am the dwarf and a digging.
Girl.
I like that
Um,
song.
I also like that song. So
You
can you continue to climb? There are periods in which the incline gets flatter. There are periods in which it gets steeper. Occasionally, you're having to make your way over various rocks. You do start to notice, as you're making your way up, you can see sort of in the mountains around the pass are ruins of guard towers. There are things that were keeping up, but as you spot them, you don't see a way that you can get up towards a tower. So when you see the first one, you just see the tower, but there doesn't seem, short of scaling a cliff face, there doesn't seem to be a route to get there.
Do they look like they were kind of built on the mountains, or as if they were built out of the mountains?
Make a...
Also,
I'd probably pose that as a question.
yeah,
to
no,
you,
yeah,
in
and
fact.
with that, does it look like
I-
they had
Make a
fallen
mountain check.
at all?
Does it look like what?
That they actually fell, or they actually?
Make a perception check. You can make a history check using stone cunning of a dwarf, so you get to add twice your proficiency to this roll.
Yeah, because I'd be asking you
Okay.
about the.
13.
Right. Where's thingy? Where's you going?
It's perceptional.
12.
12 is a history for this.
Mm.
So they might have fallen. Parts of it definitely just looks down to neglect. Things have just fallen over time, but hard to tell. I've completely forgotten what you were asking.
Whether the thing was made out of the mountains or whether
That was
it was
it.
made onto the mountains.
High enough. They were built onto the mountains. The things were built onto the mountains. They are not natural. Interestingly, they are dwarven built.
Mm.
And as you're travelling, you are seeing signs of sort of dwarven make on the pass. It is not a natural pass. It is a dwarven created thing, which is very odd considering you were told it was built by the fortress was built by an elven king.
Mm.
More odd, the dwarves didn't
I
arrive
will,
until about 10 years ago.
I will just be grumbling about the shoddy
This-
workmanship I'm
this is-
seeing.
They arrived 10 years ago, this was built at least 80 years ago.
Yep.
Made from very short elves.
Yes.
From
Would I be able to ascertain the type of rock that the tower is built out of, and whether it is the same or the different as the rock that the mountain is formed of?
It is the same rock.
It's they
Yeah.
build it straight out of the mountain and just
Yeah, they've basically mined
they've
it out.
moved a part of the mountain and
Yeah.
shaped it.
In keeping with the questions about the mountain, how does the mountain look like its shape has changed drastically since they were built? Like, does it look like those massive cliff falls that have knocked out any paths that used to lead to these towers, or is it likely that they go through the mountain itself?
There are you don't see any paths as you're passing, but it's when you first see the things. It's as you go past each tower, you are able to find a route that would lead to the tower from behind, further up the pass.
Okay.
So they are designed so that in order to attack them, you have to go all the way past them and then come back.
I'll probably be in range of the next set of towers.
Yep.
Exactly.
And by the time you've got past, the people in that tower could have already left. So you attempt to scale a cliff face towards them. They were designed to hold armies at bay for extended periods of time.
Yeah, it would probably work.
Mm-hmm. Except it didn't.
something clattered them. they're all ruined.
Yeah, from the other side.
Do you know that?
Well, imagine that was where the thing happened, and it came from the inside of the mountain range.
Well,
That's that's what my assumption is.
You
Let's
do-
not count chickens until we get there.
One thing you were told by the Shadokai is when the Elven King proved to be too dictator-like to corrupt, the nobles rose up and attacked his fortress and killed him.
Oh, okay.
So they managed to get through the defences.
That's quite impressive, actually.
But it would have helped the fact that they were basically all monks. So
They just ran up.
yeah, the cliff face didn't really stop them. They just basically just ran it up.
That is a downside to facing monks in a monk army.
Yeah. Monk army. Walls don't matter.
Monks represent.
This is a very monkish island. Gotta be honest.
Well, there's no monkfish here.
Are there any remains of any sort?
You can't see from a distance. If you want to go check out some of the
I'm
towers.
not like in the towers, but in the.
Oh, looking around, as you know, there are none along the causeway.
Not very effective.
Or the bodies have stood up and walked off.
There's also that.
Random things that go,
Brains.
Wonderful. As you continue to climb, I would like everyone to make another Constitution saving throw because it is getting harder.
Do I still have advantage?
You still have advantage. You have advantage in all these rolls because of your natural ability to traverse
Less than
mountains.
30 this time.
Those were good rolls.
Oh boy.
Oh, and Shamshir.
10 plus 3.
Shamshir is fine. Yeah. Eldoran. 8. Cool. You are going to gain 1 level of exhaustion.
18.
You are fine.
14.
You are fine.
11.
You're going to gain 1 level of exhaustion.
28.
You're fine.
Exhaustion then 9.
Get 1 level of exhaustion.
Right, since this climb's been getting harder and harder, I am going to ask, does anyone need me to enhance their ability to endure this?
Ability depends on the hunter ability. Can affect saves. Yes.
There's endurance, target has advantage on constitution checks.
This is a save, not a check.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know, with ball strength or cat's grace, one gives you double carrying capacity, so your weight wouldn't be quite as arduous on you, so maybe lower the DC slightly.
No.
There's nothing like
There you go.
that. Yeah, it's just literally just on constitution checks.
Yep.
Everyone just hug Elder.
Group hug time.
I do like hugging all around.
Group hug therapy. Some of you might need it following from the recent fight.
Yeah. We'll just make like a burrito wrap out of Par and myself and your.
How far have we got, how far of the actual
Guacamole.
pass have we actually managed to traverse?
At this point, you've climbed up you've been climbing for about 40 minutes. It is very long, very windy. But you are also just looking around, you are nowhere near the top of the mountains. Which is yet another defense feature.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing is designed to keep people out.
Savor it for a moment. It'll get really windy up there.
Cool. You continue to climb. You see more of the towers as you're passing by.
Do we glimpse any movement in any of them?
Not
Life?
at all. Not as of yet.
Okay.
They all seem to be empty, forlorn, and crumbling.
I'm occasionally going to be looking behind us to make sure nothing's following us up.
That's fine. Having a quick glance behind, nothing's following you. That's easy enough to check.
Not all the time, like every.
Yeah, every now and again you have a check back. That's
It shouldn't be easier for the monk just to run up the. Actually, does he have that yet?
No, he's not level 9 monk.
Oh. That'll do it.
Otherwise, yes.
No matrix shit.
No,
Yeah.
Have we got any barrels? If things follow us, we can just set a barrel roll and just Donkey Kong.
Okay, I'd like everyone to make another Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh,
I've
did you even climb?
I've rolled a 3, a 5. Can I do better?
Christ.
Yes.
19.
19. You are fine.
Ray.
You are fine.
22.
You are fine.
Hang on, I'm boosting. Can I boost this with Bend Luck?
Yeah, because it's a save.
Great. That's last time I rolled a 3. This is a 4 this time. 2, so 6 plus 2 is 9. So
Plus 3.
plus 3 is 9. 15.
15 is a fail.
Oh.
Just.
Okay, so that's my second level.
So you now have 2 levels of exhaustion, which means your speed is halved.
Great.
I'm faster than you.
Yeah. Par.
29.
Yeah, you're fine.
13.
How much?
13.
So your speed is also halved.
I'm faster than Shade!
No, you're not.
No, it's
I have 45 movement speed.
Oh,
You-
It's 25.
Yeah, he's got 25. He's faster now. Because your speed would be 20.
Oh, because it rounds down, does
Yeah.
it? Okay, then yeah.
Oh, I'm faster than you.
Okay.
Just.
Yeah, just. Yeah.
how long ago since we woke up? Like, because
Days.
About 4 hours.
Yeah, about
Yeah.
Or 3 weeks, depending on your point of view.
Yeah.
that. Depending on how you're
How
you're
I measure
judging it.
time.
Yeah.
Should we take a break to rest for a few moments?
I mean, I don't need one.
I'm looking at
So 2 of them look like they could do it with a breather.
just.
Fortunately, short rest doesn't have much impact on a.
It does, because I'm going to do some magic.
Ah, okay.
Less restoration, and I also do find steed.
Cool.
okay.
Enjoy your ride.
What steeds can you? Is it?
Does
I
that
think
get
you
rid
have
of
the
all of
greatest
it?
steed, have you?
I don't know if it gets rid of all of it.
One
but
level.
It definitely gets rid of 1 level.
Okay.
Oh boy, do I get an emu or something?
I don't know.
Right. So let's.
We're on an isle of undead. I have no idea what it's going to be.
Skeleton
Skeleton horse.
Skeleton. I was thinking that. Yeah, skeleton
As long
horse.
as it's not an angry nightmare.
Great, I'm getting a rare steed.
Ooh,
Lesser
you
restoration
don't
does not move exhaustion.
Ooh, I won't do that then.
Greater restoration is what removes exhaustion.
Alright, you still have your exhaustion. So one of you gets a
Horse
hackney
thing.
Fit 2 of us on.
going up to
Probably could, actually.
Find
It's
steed.
You'll be a
Yeah.
giant goat.
Gonna be
You
a
can
man.
summon a warhorse, a pony, a camel, an elk, or a mastiff.
Sure.
An elk sounds appropriate.
Not for climbing up a rock face.
Wouldn't they be used to more
Canada.
used to the regions than other things in the list?
Canada's fairly flat for most of it.
Warhorse because it's
Canada's
best
flat,
up
what?
on that.
Cool. And are you making it a celestial, a fae, or fiend?
I think I'm going with Celestial.
That makes sense. Cool.
Are you sure you don't want a fiend?
So you summon a warhorse. It does not have any gear.
Yeah.
It's just a warhorse.
Come on.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh.
Wonderful.
Can we fit 2 of them on there?
Yeah, because if you're putting those two on,
Oh,
A,
yeah, we're quite
they
light.
weigh very little,
we're
and B,
quite
they
light.
don't.
Light people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually,
they're not like wearing. They're not both wearing plate mail.
Who
So
wants to ride it?
Oh.
What's your animal
How long
handling
will it
like?
take?
Oh, okay, let's.
I have plus
it
4.
does take 10 minutes to cast.
Animal handling.
Cool, I've had a cup of tea.
0.
Oh, I'll ride it then. I'll have plus 4.
I'm
Okay.
holding the reins.
Okay, well, I'm just
There are
saying.
there are no reins.
I know, but like it
I
follows me.
You telepathically can control it. It follows
Okay, cool.
it follows Eldoran's every command.
Wait, his animal handling skill then?
Not animal handling.
Telepathic.
He can just tell it what to do and it will do
It is
it.
a spell. I guess.
Yeah.
It's a magic horse, not a normal horse.
Yeah.
Yes.
He
This-
instantly wins gold at dressage.
Does it bet back? Just sits there like. Never says anything, doesn't move, just sits there as the horse does all the things.
Banned from all dressage.
No, that's why there's a paladin class and a normal.
That's why dressage isn't a sport. Magic makes most sports sort of null and void.
Wait a minute, that's a druid.
Nay.
They've polymorphed the horse into a person, and the druid is the one doing the dressage.
Wow.
The guy can't stop eating grass.
Or he just gets spooked by something and just runs.
Person goes to shake his hand, he kicks him in the face.
Bang.
Their only mistake is they left the bridle and the bit and the saddle on the horse. So it's just dress up this guy sitting on a horse going. Brains coming out of his mouth. It's like, oh no.
I see the mistake we made. I realise why you got on.
We'll get our coats.
Unless there's no rule that says the it just says a horse. It doesn't say it has to be always.
It's not a horse, it's a celestial.
It doesn't.
Yeah. Okay. As you continue to climb, with two people now sitting on a horse instead, you weak.
You brought that on yourself.
You come to a point where you're heading up a hill, and you can see another guard tower crumbling up in front of you. And as you're watching, you see a
Crumbling or crumbled?
crumbled. Sorry, yeah, not crumbling. You see a dark-skinned humanoid walk to the edge of the guard tower. A pair of skeletal wings spring out the back their back. They shriek in pain, and then you watch as their form starts to twist and bend and change. And instead of seeing a humanoid in front of you, you now see that.
Oh, bugger.
Oh,
Ah,
no.
wonderful.
Okay.
No.
Oh, Poonie.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, that's just right there. And then the figure you're looking at just collapses to the floor.
Do
In
we
the guard tower.
only hear the one creature?
It's not making any sound. Apart from the shriek of pain, there is no other sound.
Is it still moving or is it just collapsed?
It's just collapsed into the floor of the guard tower in front of you.
How far away?
As you come in, it's about 60-foot straight line, sort of thing. But the path doesn't like come up to the base; it does curve around past it. And if it wants to get down to you, it's basically got to jump down like 30, 40 foot, sort of thing.
Is it seen us?
You don't know.
Don't do that.
Are we killing it or are we waiting?
They just collapsed to the
we
floor.
could just make the noise.
They're not the same thing.
Do we need to go past it to advance?
Yes.
You have to go past the guard tower.
You go round the guard
Yeah.
tower.
I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to walk into like base contact with the creature. You'll be passing underneath it essentially, and then have the option of going back to the guard tower when you find the pass that leads back through to it, if
I'll
you so
I'll
wish.
happily go first. If it's an ambush, they'll jump on me, and then you guys save me.
Sure.
Sure.
Cool. I head
We're
in.
all going, I guess.
Cool. So you're all heading in, but you're changing marching order. So now
Yeah.
we're putting Derek at the front
Yeah.
with a bit of a gap.
Yeah.
Are we?
I think do you want to do it stealthily?
No, I'm setting an ambush off.
Okay, I'll be with you then if you're not being stealthy.
Where's the horse?
Yeah, you need a
Where's the horse,
now.
Liam? Where's the horse?
I don't
War horses.
Oh.
It better not be that damn lion.
Horse back.
It's going to be the blue bag.
I'll make it the lion. I want it to be the lion now.
Step dragon.
Grr, I'm a horse. Grr.
Grr. Rah. I mean, nay. Hey, we got a new friend.
Right. So you two are going at the front.
Yeah.
Where's everyone else going to set themselves up?
I will be in front of the lion
Horse.
The horse. Cool.
Lion horse.
We'll put Shamshir there as well. 'Cause
Oh, I love it.
why not? Aegis, where do you want to be?
I would not recommend behind the horse.
I'm going to be
It might kick you.
ahead of the horse, but behind the leaders.
Oh, do you want to be next to us?
So here, there.
Just go behind the horse.
There, why not?
There will do. Wonderful.
Away from the creature. The side that's not going to be next to you, where we're walking around the thing.
Cool. That side then, which was like there.
Okay.
Yay, got my wizardy friends next to me.
Cool.
You're totally safe.
Yeah.
So you guys are going first. See
Don't
if
kill
there's
the horse.
an ambush. You make your way up to where the cliff face for the guard tower is. No signs of any movement above you. You carry on walking past. Nothing happens.
Nice.
Disappointed.
So it's on
Well,
that
if you
side,
wanna
yeah?
die,
Yeah, it's
then
on this
go
side.
back out there.
Can I
You're
look-
passing it on your
I
left.
want to look the opposite side and see if there might be anyone like potentially hiding.
Sure, make a perception check.
Ooh, what's that? 26.
There's no other thing hiding on the other side.
So are we going back to see what that
I
first
don't
and second creature were?
think
or
it's
keep going
necessary.
up to that guard
I
tower?
thought there was only
Yeah.
one creature.
Wasn't there? Well, one stabbed the other through back and
Still
then
dead.
horrible.
Did it?
Yes, one with
I
wings
thought it
got
turned
stabbed
into it.
and then
No.
The thing with the
Wait,
wings
we-
turned
we-
into
we
it.
saw three things. There was a humanoid with dark skin, and then it sprouted wings, which was the second thing, and then it turned into that thing.
It turned into the thing.
It
Yeah,
turned
yeah.
into the
It
thing.
twisted and contorted.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, sounded
And-
like a
and-
stab.
Yeah, and then the wings disappeared, and it became that thing with the spiky arms and the spiky legs and the weird long neck, and then it collapsed to the ground.
My mistake.
I say we go check it.
No.
It matches the description of everything we've been told not to go
So-
anywhere.
yeah.
I don't want to go anywhere near it. Plus, there's no way into that tower at the moment, so we really don't have to.
Well,
Yeah, but we
Think about
walked past it, and now we're going to get to the turning when we can go back to it.
We've got to get into the fortress first.
no.
No, the tower.
No, the
So
routes
there's
in have been on
there's
this
a line
pass.
and they have they
Oh!
brought the
Yeah,
path
sorry.
back
Okay, because you
into
said
the
there was no
trench.
visible doorway, so I assumed it was all a tunnel network leading back to the main
No,
fort.
he's,
Tower
he
path.
then said later
Oh,
that there's
right,
a path
okay.
behind
Yeah,
it.
and we've been coming. So yeah, we have to go.
Oh.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we've
yeah.
got to go like twice distance past it to
Yeah.
walk back to it.
It is
You can
only
get to them, but it's just I don't.
Mm.
think
you have
Yeah.
to go past the thing and then double back on yourself to get to the door.
So this thing's arms, did it look like it? What did they look like?
Spiky.
Really long.
So
Spike.
harpoony.
Harpooning might be an accurate thing, yes.
Okay, as we know, this is probably one of the lonely, and it gets stronger the closer you get to it.
Let's not.
Let's not
avoid
that.
No.
yes,
Yes,
very much not.
Let's
doing
make
it.
sure he remains lonely.
I remember why we have an academic with us.
An academic?
No.
Yes, any
Okay.
number of academics.
I'm not particularly.
So everyone's staying on the pass, no one's investigating the guard tower.
Yes, but
Wonderful.
disappointing. you.
I said no.
No, I don't mind either way.
There's a chance
Wonderful.
like very important if it's going to be in there that we need later, but it's probably safe not to find it.
We can return to the tower after we've had a
Mhm.
sleep for the night, whatever night is.
So, you carry up on the route, and it starts to level out, and it's passing in between two almost perfectly flat cliff faces, which is not natural. Cliff faces are not flat in any way; they are shaped in some form. So you are walking through essentially a worked ravine between cliff faces. No more guard towers, though you are able to notice that at the top there's a slight ledge, so things could be stood up there, throwing rocks and hot oil and whatnot down as people passed. And at the
I
far
check for secret doors in the worked cliff.
wonderful, make a perception check with advantage.
Ooh.
Because you have Thieves' Tools proficiency, and that gives you advantage.
17.
You are pretty sure there are no secret doors.
I'm pretty
Are
sure
there
there's
any-
no secret.
Are there any unsecret
There's
doors?
a secret window instead.
Yeah, there's a secret door. There's a non-secret door. Yeah. No.
Yeah, the guy goes.
It
"There's
just
a
says
bit-"
door above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a
Door
stethoscope
here.
and he's knocking at
Yeah,
every
with a
hole
welcome
in
mat
the
and
bed.
everything.
It just ignores the door handle.
Just goes like up and round it.
Guys, it's an obvious trap. Come on. Don't find the secret.
That is fair. There's a stone cliff face and a handle. That's not right.
There's a giant
That's a
front
trap.
wall.
You go to pull the door, the entire cliff gets pulled towards you and crushes you.
The real trap is the secret door.
It's the real fake door.
Yeah, real fake door.
This is not
Um,
a trap written on it. It's
At
being
the
honest.
at the end of this ravine, you can see first of all a red glow,
That's always good.
Yeah.
In my experience.
but it is not flickering. It's not like firelight. It's just this very dull red glow that's sort of lighting the end. It sort of curves slightly out of sight. You can't see what is creating the red glow.
A curvy glow. What?
No, the ravine
Oh, right.
curves
okay.
out of sight. You just at the end of this ravine, you can see that it is glowing
Somebody
slightly.
said the curve was glowing.
I-
and I was like, what? The glow's got a nice curve to
It's
it.
got curves.
Oh, it's fuzz.
It's a thick glow.
So the glow, there's orange, red. Well,
Yeah.
Didn't say there was a second colour.
No, it's a red. It's not flickering like firelight, but again, it is very strange because everything here has been grayscale apart from in firelight. You have constantly been walking through grayscale.
How close are we to being underneath the giant swirling ball of
Dead.
chaos?
You cannot currently see it, so you don't know.
Okay.
Mr. Satnav, are we heading into the glow? Perchance?
Oh, yeah, we are.
Cool. Yeah,
Does
rock
anyone
right into
know-
the glow.
Anyone want to go scout ahead?
Does it
That's what
feel
I'm doing.
stronger?
We'll ask you to come back and I will use Pass Without Trace.
You know, you realise that breaks the moment he leaves, right?
That's why I said you should come back and we'll all go together under Pass Without Trace.
Yes,
Cool.
that's what you meant.
Plus it only breaks on him.
Cool. So
Yeah,
everyone huddles again. Make some stealth rolls with pass without trace bonus.
Ooh, that's not bad.
No.
So, plus 10.
Yeah, I tried going for bottom score, but I didn't quite reach it.
But someone does not. Oh my god, what is it with you dice tonight?
I hate
She
you.
made them tired.
I have advantage and I'm rolling like poop.
Whereas I had disadvantage and rolled that.
Oh my god. Give it me! I want it!
I love Pass Without Trace, it saves my ass.
I'm just saving my ass today.
Do you want to roll for your war horse?
Oh god. Yeah.
It gets
plus
10.
And it has +1 from Dex.
It gets plus 11.
So yeah, +11.
Ooh, that's not a ninja.
Did you just roll
No.
1? Okay.
Me and my horse have the same stealth score.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Right. Elran, what you get?
18 and 18.
18.
Oh, okay.
Horse. 18. Wonderful. Derek.
34.
Cool. Aegis.
18.
Icarus.
27.
Par.
23.
Erebus.
21. And I rolled a 3.
Shamshir also got a 21.
God, she just passed out. Trash got plus 20.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So you start quietly making your way to the corner and the curve. As you pass around the corner, you are able to see what is causing the glow, as there is a stream of lava heading down the mountainside.
What? And the
Can you
lava's.
pass the map?
Oh.
That's new.
Mm-hmm. It
Does
is.
that give. Oh.
Well, maybe it's So also where- T with the
Or is
hero.
it? Souls Peak, so they're sort of in here somewhere.
'Cause I mean, these ones are called
It doesn't
volcanoes.
Really boil water, just turns into steam instantly. It's
It's
lava.
really close, no well.
I just had some tea. I'm fine.
I mean, technically it does boil
Maybe use more wood for liquor.
Not in a useful
Rather
fashion.
too vigorously.
There is. You can also see that the path continues over the river. Because sitting in the middle of it is a barbican blocking the way. The side you are on, there is a stone drawbridge which is currently down.
Is it manned?
It is not manned as far as you can see.
Is it elked? Is it Asimov?
Can I yeet the
Oh, God.
halfling? This is perfect
we can
opportunity
walk across.
to yeet the halfling.
You can walk across.
Should we be worried
it's
that a
down.
wooden drawbridge is going across
Stone
the
drawbridge.
Stone
Yeah,
drawbridge.
There we go, that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very-
However, it is also partially ruined and in pieces like all the guard houses have been.
Do you want me to check it to see if it'll take our weight first?
Yes, please.
Not until I've gone across.
And then yeet the halfling.
So I will go and check the drawbridge to see if it's still in working order and whatnot.
You have a look at it.
Crumble beneath us.
It looks fine. It's like 1.5 foot thick stone. It is
Okay, good.
quite happily going to take weight. You can
I'll just
easily,
walk across it then, just plonk, plonk, plonk.
Yep.
plonk.
easy enough to do.
Oh, you've left half that trace. Go climb across the
Make sure
drawbridge
we-
all by yourself.
I thought we were at the edge of the
We'll
drawbridge. He's
break
only
it
like 20 foot away from us, so he's still within range.
Make sure you're in range. Yeah.
I do just need to check something.
Control, you're on the back of a horse that's not controlled by you.
I presume
Because-
Eldoran is making it so we're in it.
Oh, that's a presumption, isn't it? It's a presumption.
Well, it benefits him as well, so.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're standing in line together.
So, as an interesting thing, because as where you're passing, it is very, very big. As in,
I thought you were
It
going to
is-
say pop.
Yeah, so
I
no.
thought you were going to say pop. No, it's
The-
cold. The lava is stone cold.
the
I don't know
barbican
why.
is about 50 feet tall.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Again,
It's not built to humanoid scales. Or it's just large.
It's just large, yeah. The drawbridge is humanoid scale. You can see in the walls that aren't ruined there are arrow slits and things.
Does this also look like it's in the same style as the other towers?
Yep, it is also dwarven built.
Yeah.
But what you can see is more easily that the details were less clear on the guard towers. There is an element of it that looks foreboding. There is an element that looks frightening. It is designed to intimidate in appearance.
This is the first thing I've seen that's not shoddily built.
Well, it is still standing, which I always thought a lot of that. Can you?
I don't know if the mechanism will still work.
I'd
I have
rather.
a funny feeling it's
not-
seized down, so we won't be able to raise it.
Probably
That's
best not to
perfectly fine
check.
with me.
I don't know how else we'd get across.
Well, yes.
Are we all crossing?
Yeah.
Already,
Yeah.
like, taking the
Yeah,
first couple
you will
of
make
steps.
your way across. You pass through the gatehouse and you come to a sort of interior courtyard section. You can see a staircase that is heading up, partially ruined, but you could take it up to the first level.
How wide was that lava flow?
The lava throw was 20 feet wide.
And how far was the drawbridge?
The drawbridge would have been like 40 feet-ish.
Okay, so I was wondering if they were trying to actually only build it to the scale that the drawbridge would be at, so they could just go up and still sit flat against it. Which is why it's so big. Is
Possibly.
So you're going to check the first floor, Jerry?
Sure.
Cool.
We might as well go together.
then we'll have to dismount.
Well, one of you will.
Oh, I could just stay on the horse and
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get off a horse.
Cool. So who's heading up? Who's staying down?
we're all going up to try and keep past that trace. Okay.
So the horse is staying down.
The horse is down. Yeah, the horse is staying down.
Wonderful. Blink,
Bye, horse.
Bye, lion.
blink. Cool. So you make
Nay
your
of the enemy.
way up
Raw. It's
the
more intimidating.
staircase. As you are reaching near the top, you find an abandoned sword that is bloodstained.
Does the blood look
Dried
dry?
blood?
It's old or new?
It does not look old. It is dry, partially dried, but then when you spot that, you can also see there is a sort of drip pattern of where the sword has been brought to where it currently is. There is a path, a little trail of blood.
Join the dots.
Can we hear anything? Can I hear anything?
No sound. Well, apart from the bubbling of the lava, but nothing important.
A distant, lonely horse.
Mm-hmm.
Nay.
Nay, bitch.
Get out of my way.
Following the blood trail.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is this
sure.
going up further?
Hmm?
Is it going up further, did you say?
You found the sword sort of near the top of the staircase, so it leads up and is on this floor.
Other than the blood, is there anything remarkable about the sword, or does it just look
Not
like
really, it's just a sword.
Yeah.
So you follow the blood stain, which leads to a room that, from below, you'll be able to identify what room, because it's a room where basically the roof and the whole half of the two of the walls are just gone. They've crumbled down into the lava below, but it would have been looking down onto the pass that you've just climbed up, and through the ravine where you've just crossed the drawbridge. In there, you find the bloodstains lead to a pale-skinned humanoid. Looks very human. That has a torn open chest.
Is it alive?
Very much dead. Very much dead. And the right side of their face is gone.
Any sword wounds?
Probably the chest.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, I don't know if the
No,
chest
no,
wound
no,
is
no.
because of.
It's been just hacked apart.
And does the face look like it's being hacked apart, or is it like burnt, or
It is not burnt. It has not been hacked apart.
It's
Can I
just
do...
missing.
just
is it?
missing?
Yep. You can make a medicine check if you want to try and identify what it is. Yes.
Ooh, that's a number. No. It's 14.
14. The face has been bitten off.
Yes.
Ooh.
Recently?
Yes, very recently.
Watch out for coyote.
Well, probably within the last 10 minutes or so.
Right.
Very much on guard.
We
It
may
took
not be
you-
alone.
It took you about 10 minutes to climb up from the guard tower where you saw the individual.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, this gent's been...
Behind the guy's eyes, because we can see it, I
Mhm.
assume, from the bite mark.
Yeah.
Maggots?
No maggots.
Oh.
It's all normal.
Are they clothed?
Yes.
How so? What is their garb?
He is wearing armour. Hang on, let me just double check. He's got a short sword. That's the wrong book. Not short sword. A long sword. And I believe has a heavy crossbow. Yes, actually, in fact, has a long sword and a short sword and a heavy crossbow, and they are wearing splint mail.
Obviously, the chest plate was destroyed.
Yes, it's completely wrecked.
And is there any emblems?
Any identified markers at all? Not just on the armour.
Yeah, like clasps or
Yes.
brooches or
A
dog
necklace,
tags,
basically.
Fashion.
With
belt buckles, pommels. All of these things
Just-
need.
Human scabbards.
Yeah.
just double check. Where the hell is the thing that I want?
You might have identifying coins.
Yeah.
You might.
Non-planar coin, go.
You could have very important receipts in there. Don't tell us a lot about them.
Well, you're going to try and claim his expenses for him.
I would like to return this piece of armour. It's faulty.
That didn't work. That doesn't work, does it? Look.
Look, he's dead!
I'm sorry, so you can't return the sword. It's got a stain on it.
I'll give it another
No,
stain
this is
in
where
a
you
second.
go, prestidigitation goes, no it doesn't.
There's what I'm looking for. Jesus, that was a completely different place to where I thought it was. Yes, they have sort of on clasps and various things around the armor that you can make out. They have the image of a dragon's head in profile facing left. It is the symbol of Bahamut.
That's good.
Yeah, the god of
Yeah.
justice and law.
Also dragons.
Also dragons.
Also dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nice dragons.
Yes.
Never such a thing.
Well, relatively.
That makes more sense.
Just
It's
don't touch their stuff.
It's the shiny dragons.
Yeah,
Kind of like not the coloured ones or something.
The shiny dragon.
Shiny dragon.
That's such a-
rather than chromatic.
The dragons who polish.
Yeah.
They're magnetic.
I'm just
Uh,
looting. Yeah.
I'm going to sort of lay them out and say a prayer.
I'm going to help with that.
That's cool.
I'm going to keep one of the clasps as well, just in case.
This is where you
Yeah,
go,
that's
use
fine.
that- no, put the coins on the eyes, not in your pockets,
Are there
Derek.
any of these things that look like they're specialised or more custom than the others to say like this is a certain person?
Nothing that you can see. In fact, they don't actually seem to have anything on them. They have a few rations. They've got a water skin, and they've got their weapons and what remains of their armor.
Should we take the body? Because didn't the Shadow Clan mention that the castle we're going to was manned by? We don't know.
Where have they gone, anyways?
They're around. We don't know where they. Probably.
Caring battle.
We are collecting corpses. Might as well put it in the bag of the morgue.
Yep.
Weren't we told to expect
Make juice out of it, sure.
The body bag. We've said this.
The body bag, sorry, I've got the body
I
bag.
am so very sorry for this.
Are you talking to a corpse?
Yes,
Cool.
yes. You're about to shove him into a bag with other corpses.
Are there any other
How
corpses
dare
left
you?
in
I'm
there?
not
thought
going
we
to do that. I'm far
deposited
too
all
weak.
of them.
Yeah, we removed the corpses, didn't we?
Yes, we
And
did.
we gave them to the town to burn them.
Oh, then that's fine.
The corpses that belong to the town.
No, I think we gave all of them.
What other corpses did we have?
All those very, very dry elves and stuff.
Oh yeah.
What?
What?
Yeah. There was in the hag's hut. There was a pile of dried corpses that didn't belong to the town.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
we touched on their
How
old
did we
papering?
take them?
Oh, I weren't there.
I set up a bloody furnace in that thing.
Because we were collecting corpses.
Wow, for God's sake.
Yeah, the corpses were collected in case they belonged to some people from the town.
Fair.
Also,
And-
I mean, he's not here to defend himself, but I think Shamshid's got a bit of a weird thing about collecting corpses. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I'm not ruling out that it's not sexual, but you know.
Hey, it might probably is Monster Slayer thing.
If the dead
Like
are
X amount of
vengeful,
corpses.
This is why.
God.
I can see why.
So you shoved this body into the bag.
As gracefully as possible.
I mean,
You
it
gracefully shoved the body in the bag.
It opens to about that
Yeah,
wide, so you're having to shove.
Oh no, don't let
Which-
the dust spill out.
Considering the hole in the chest, I mean, most of the blood at this point has drained out, but bits will fall out.
Oh, wonderful. We're going to have loose organs.
Yeah, which does then drive home the point that there are organs that are missing.
Oh, which ones?
It's the spleen.
A lung.
Yeah. Not the lung, although one of the lungs does have a chunk missing from it. The heart
Is
is
it the
gone.
heart?
Stomach, yeah, heart is gone. Stomach is gone. Small things that are easy to pick up and
Kidney.
bite, essentially.
Food stuffs. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Liver.
I'm guessing the sword we found at the stairs doesn't match the style of the arms he's carrying.
Yes, it does.
It does, so he had a
He
second,
had 3 swords.
he had a second long sword.
Or it's someone else's sword.
Oh,
What, you think he stabbed himself with a different someone else's sword?
no, I'm
And then
suggesting
ate
someone
himself too.
disarmed him.
His weapons were still in their sheaths. He had not drawn his weapons.
Does it look like it was an ambush there? Or?
No signs of an ambush. Barely any sign of a struggle.
Yeah. Maybe
I really like this island.
he knew
Yes.
what would have come should he lost his mind anymore and decided to stop it before things could happen.
Or
With someone else's
What, I
sword.
mean, he felt a bit harpoony and just ended himself before he went full harpoon.
no, I think the thing that turned into the other thing killed this guy and then went into the tower and turned into the thing.
He was very lonely.
Wasn't this thing? Wait, is this the same tower as the?
No.
No.
No, this is a barbican.
Yeah.
The
That's
tower
what I was
was
thinking.
about
It's-
10 minutes
seems a
away.
bit far away.
You
It
know,
could
around
be,
this-
but at the very least we should be aware we
Is,
are not alone.
Is he quite
We
pale?
knew that.
Yeah.
It's quite pale now, yeah, there'd be no blood.
I'd
Oh,
like to
yeah.
cast a
Yeah.
spell.
Wonderful, you cast a spell. You haven't refreshed your Tides Chaos, right?
I think I have. I'm pretty sure I used it.
If you kill us now,
No,
I
it's
will
blank. The thing's blank.
Oh.
Good.
Oh. But
That's
you might
a
still
spell.
explode. So what spell do you cast?
Mage armor.
You cast Mage Armor. Now roll a d20.
Because
Use
we're
it now.
possibly in danger.
9.
9.
Oh, disappointed.
9.
Disappointed.
Yeah, he says no.
What number have you got to roll?
1.
1.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So you all watch as Icarus suddenly shimmers with a blue light that surrounds him and then disappears.
We're not safe here.
You didn't have the armor already?
I didn't need it.
We haven't been safe for a while. I checked with the horse that everything is okay.
Yes, and
I checked with the horse.
The horse is still fine. You do notice when you're down this shot there is a drawbridge at the other side of this barbican that is currently raised.
Can we see where
Let's
the
go lower the drawbridge.
mechanisms are?
It's not difficult for you to find a mechanism. It is very, very rusty.
I think it'll work.
And cast WD-40.
Yeah.
the thing to his horse, is it a two-way connection?
Yeah, the horse can talk to him as well.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
It's a really good spell.
So we sort of have a sentry as to...
Yeah, you can send the horse out, please.
Yeah, whilst they're
Go.
within a mile of each other, they can telepathically
Mile.
communicate.
That's incredible.
That's so good.
It's also whilst he's mounted on horse, any spell he casts that targets only him also targets his horse.
Does it have the intelligence of a horse?
No, it has increased intelligence. It has intelligence of 5.
Is it only spells he casts, or are supposed to cast on
Yeah,
him?
Only spells that he casts.
Because all I could think of is him walking through a cave and the horse just going, "See a butterfly."
Don't like.
Telepathically shitposting him throughout
Telepathic shitposts. Jesus.
Is this a predator?
I did a big poo.
This is every 5 seconds. It's like, do you have any oats? Do you have some oats?
Oh,
Do
you
you
got
have
it.
some oats?
Are you suggesting sugar then? Apples?
Carrots.
The other thing, though, it does learn a language of your choice that you also know. So
Yeah. Not that it helps, because it can't speak to you guys.
yeah, but it could understand them if you chose a language that they could speak to it in.
Oh, good. Elvish shitposting.
You know it.
Jesus Christ. So yes, so
Who can speak Elvish in the party?
like 90% of the
Most
party.
of the party.
All
Anyone-
but me.
I think
But
yeah.
he can speak
Basically
Dwarvish,
everyone.
which then trances half the other party.
Yeah,
So-
which gets everyone else. Just yeah. Okay, so
We ever so slightly stacked on
You-
the language.
you do
Yeah,
find
yeah.
the mechanism to raise and lower the drawbridge. It is rusted, but it moves.
Was
Whoa.
there lava on the other side of this tower?
You didn't see because sorry, I wasn't.
We were
very-
in a tower that was smashed open. I thought we could see.
You could see back where you came from, not in the other direction.
Were there any other rooms upstairs that had a view facing the direction we're going?
So you could have a look around. Yeah, you can find like more arrow slits and things, and yes, you can look out the other direction. You will see that yes, there is a stream of lava on the other side of the barbican as well.
Wow for placement between 2 lava streams.
I think it's probably one, isn't it?
Surely they would have
Or split.
seen the lava and then built the tower afterwards.
No,
No, I
think
you
it's
build
got
the
to
tower
be
and then you channel the lava down.
Yes. Either or.
Lower the drawbridge?
Yeah. The other
Sure,
thing
let's
that
do
you
that one.
will
Okay.
see,
Fascinating lava talk.
looking through the arrow slits back to in the direction you have been travelling, is you'll get your first glimpse of the actual fortress. Which again, the outer walls are 50 feet tall, but to make it even bigger, the curtain wall of the stronghold itself are an additional 20 feet above that.
ooh, fuck that. 70-foot walls.
Yep.
Shade. That's where we're going? I'm just sort of nod out the arrows.
Is your blip
Yeah.
pointing directly at the fortress?
Yes.
Oh look. What do you know?
What conditions?
Weirdly enough, yes.
What conditions are in compared to here?
Also in ruins. It's held up a lot better, as it would.
that makes sense.
It is much bigger, thicker, and denser.
And it's not surrounded by lava.
You will also notice it takes you a couple of sort of glancing at to realise there's some sort of dull silver thing sticking out one of the walls, and as you look at it, you realise it's a giant scythe.
How big giant
What?
scythe?
As in, sort of, it would swing across the wall, and if people were trying to mount the wall with ladders or siege towers or things
Right,
like
I
that,
see. Okay.
it is
So
it's
part
in
of
the wall horizontal.
Whoa.
And it was
it's,
just
it's a defense mechanism, not something's embedded into it.
no, it's a defense mechanism.
Oh my god.
Damn, new people.
Now that's clever. We never did that at home.
It's a new one.
Should write it
Don't write that
down.
note.
I am writing a note.
Not sure how legal that would be.
Do you know what?
Legal.
No one's going to try and stop you if you've already got it up.
Well,
There is no legality in war.
if they have a complaint, the complaints box way up there.
Pop out the wall.
On the other side, right?
Yes.
The people who have the fortress with the 70-foot high wall, they make the law. that's how it works.
They do here.
No, I think that's pretty much everywhere. If you've got a fortress with a 70-foot high wall, you're in,
Yes.
you're in charge.
Yeah.
I know. That's why they're doing it here.
So, whilst we're around the fort and we've been into a room that's kind of got one of the walls smashed out,
Yeah.
the way that the bricks fell from it, was it like they were knocked inwards or outwards? This should be like
A little bit of both.
It's just collapsed.
Yeah, it's just
it's more like
it's
it's
just
a
not
natural
a boulder has
Because
come
I'm trying to
through it,
figure
yeah.
out if something kind of got there, landed on it, clawed it out, if something
It's-
smashed into
it's
it.
it's more just
or if it just
it's
hit
it's
through
a time thing. Yeah, it's more of just a time thing over time. A particular section has weakened and it's just fallen down.
Yeah, it hasn't been trench bucketed. I will try and lower this other drawbridge.
That's fine. It takes some work. It is tough. It does. Considering the amount of rust that's on it, though, it's not all that loud, which is nice. There's a bit of screeching, but
Hang on, do I have oil of some sort?
well,
You have the grease spider.
as you're moving, it's you notice that the chain that leads to the drawbridge is rusted, but the actual mechanism has not rusted over time.
Wow.
Again, this is all Dwarven made. Designed to withstand, do a pretty good job of withstanding little use. But you lower that drawbridge and you will get a proper view of the fortress, similar to the barbican. It is intimidating.
We'll talk to Par before we leave and say, do dwarves generally leave a maker's mark to show who made this?
Sometimes depends on the builder, depends on whether or not they want it to be identified as theirs.
It really depends on the pride of the builder.
Would we want to see,
I can have a quick look. I haven't seen any so far in any of the towers.
just because
But,
this is old for dwarven manufacture, especially
Yeah.
on the continent.
You can have a look around, you'd have an idea of rough sort of where it gets left a similar sort of place. There is no sign that you can see.
No.
There's always the chance they were building it for themselves, thus required no mark. The owner would then be known.
Well, no. My point was in pride of the builder. If they
Oh,
were
no,
building it for
yes.
themselves, then they'd go, "Ha! This is mine. I did this." If
Well,
they
not
built
if
this,
it's a fortress of their own.
if they built it for someone else, they've gone, I don't care enough to own this, therefore I'm not going to put a mark on it. It might be, I don't know the history, but knowing elves, the way they are and the way they behave, might have been slave labour that built this thing.
Would explain the lack of marks. Yes.
So yes, you get your first proper uninhibited view of the fortress.
Happy party.
Old habit style.
Like the barbican, it is built to intimidate. The other thing that makes this a bit more terrifying, which wasn't quite so clear through the arrow slick because of the restricted view and whatnot, it is built on a bit of rock that juts out over a chasm.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So
Could have picked a better defendant spot.
yeah, there is one way in, and that is through the front gate or over the front walls that have got a giant scythe blade to keep people off of. This place was well defended intentionally.
And yet it fell. Oh, it almost fell. Wasn't it when the last of the armies were taking over?
It did fall. They killed the king. They potentially may help that they probably knew what the defences were.
I wasn't sure if they killed the king, then the cataclysm happened, or the cataclysm hasn't happened as they killed the king.
They killed the king, and then later on, at a later point in time, the cataclysm, the rift opened.
Okay.
So are we riding on?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those two are. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm walking on.
So we're now up to sort of 5-6 hours.
At this point, it's about 5 hours. Yeah. The thing you will notice, especially you, Par, is almost the entire area of mountain has been stripped, and they've basically they've removed, like, you're talking like entire mountain tops.
This is a giant terraforming effort.
Yeah, that has been put into building this massive
This
fortress.
mountain, shape it like this and put it there. There we go.
Which is also, it's had like, it's not just like flat walls, it's had additional bits put on, like there are
Scythe blades.
spikes and scythe blades and just various things that are, it's designed to look terrifying.
Is this sort of construction normal around, like, would other places have had this?
Not on Vivanor, no. This is very odd.
I mean, would I have seen forts vaguely like this back home? Not to this scale.
Not to
but-
this scale. You would have had some forts that were built to intimidate. Not like this is. I want to intimidate
This
my
is a whole
opponent,
new
and then
level
this
of
is
grim
just
above what I'm
yeah,
used to.
yeah.
This
This is
sounds
some
like
overlord's wet dream.
this
Yeah.
has gone from I want to intimidate my neighbours so they don't attack me to I'm the dictator, no one fucking move.
Yes.
Wouldn't this being built wouldn't it have been news in general around Fairvanner before the arcane storm popped up? But then that's why they forgot the islands
They didn't
existed.
know nobody knew the island existed.
Good fun times with
I
magic.
was trying to remember. So hang on, no, we forgot the island existed first, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah,
Because I would have apparently been alive.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
when this was.
Yep.
So would you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe.
140.
Yeah, you would have been as well. Because
Although he wouldn't have been probably wouldn't have been on the continent. So,
Yeah.
no,
I hear
but
you.
yeah, that's true.
but yes. So yes, it is. You do not know about this. You don't know what is going on. You didn't know about the island. You didn't know the history of the island. Oh, cool. So,
Is there any movement on the battlements of the fortress?
make a perception check.
I'm also going to be
Yeah,
honest.
if anyone who wants to have a look, can make a perception check.
I'm so
Oh, what
sorry.
were you looking out for?
I'm
Sorry?
so very sorry.
Oh, right, like hostiles,
20.
yeah.
I was like, that was really bad. Oh, that was on such a high note. Don't worry.
Okay.
Aw.
Today's been
No,
a bad
Cool.
day.
20.
Casting prestidigitation on myself.
Fair enough. Yep.
That
The
is
horse
crap.
shits on
Okay.
your feet.
Well,
12. Okay. 18 for Shamshir. There isn't movement, but you are able to just about make out that sitting, because there are enlarged holes and whatnot from the way that the walls have partially collapsed. There are two humanoids that are sitting sort of watching from the gatehouse.
Okay.
You can't really make out details. You can just make out that there are shapes within there. They've probably seen you. You're standing on a pool of lava lit from behind.
After dropping down a giant gate.
Yeah. But you
I
haven't been
jump up and down
attacked.
and wave.
Okay, fair enough.
What are you doing?
How far away
I've
are
seen
you?
this.
Who have?
Them.
Oh!
You're about. It's about 60, 70 or so feet.
Oh, we're quite close to the actual.
Yeah. Once you pass the barbican.
Oh, okay. I thought we were a couple of hundred feet away.
I take it
No,
our
you're
2 friends are still hidden.
Oh yeah, you've not seen side or tail of
They may
them.
not even be with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. You haven't seen them since they popped up to help you in the fight.
They're definitely with us. They're the ones administering your test.
I know.
You are their ward, they're most certainly about.
Um,
So do we want to make contact with those figures?
I mean, like I just did by jumping down and waving at them.
Well, I was thinking your tea cloth, I believe is what you call it, we tie it to something. Is what?
Or I can try messaging them.
That could work. I guess. I mean,
I'm asking
Yeah.
if you're in range.
Yeah.
120 feet, I believe.
Yeah.
Not very good. Go for it, I guess.
Um,
Invite them over.
I'm not the most diplomatic of people.
Oh.
How would you like to?
I'll cast message, sure.
Wonderful.
Please only invite them.
You
over,
cast
don't
message
invite them.
He's
sort
like,
of in
"Would
the
you like
direction
tea?"
of the gatehouse.
Yeah.
Wonderful. What do you say?
I go through all of my languages and I say hello in common, halfling, dwarf, elf, thieves, cunt, draconic, and sylvan.
I think. Hang on.
Must have been interesting what they were playing.
Yeah.
Common probably, but I'd like to see the language.
Because messages.
Go back in Draconic.
They say hello 5 times, they say piss off once.
You got an iconic.
And they go, sorry, what?
It's literally the only difference.
Say bugger off in common /
I'd say, no, it is. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, it doesn't actually specify.
You start a sentence, just start
I was
making
trying to
noises.
talk to myself, but no, yeah, because it's not a telepathic thing. It's just a whisper that only they hear, you don't, and no one else hears. So you say hello in all your languages.
Hello.
Right, wonderful. Let me just double check that list. Go through that. Oh my god.
They
Go
have the
through-
high ground.
They do have the high ground.
We're not
the
no one's a
halfling.
Jedi, it's fine.
We'll just stay away from the
Roll a die and tell me odd or even. Just decide which one you actually hit with the message.
Odd.
Odd.
No, hang on, it's a 1, I get to reroll it.
It's still the same.
It's not an ability check, saving throw, or attack roll.
It is an ability check.
No, it's not. It's just a random roll. It would have worked if you
It
picked a
was still
d4.
odd.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
went for a 1,
No,
two, three.
I know.
Oh wow, okay.
It was fun.
Sticking with true Rob style.
Okay, so you hear a response in common that says, "Hello. Who are you?"
I cast it again and say, hello, we're the Errant Guard, we're here to save the island.
But that? Wait, what?
How's it going? Any contact? Any luck?
on the phone.
Yeah, like, hold on.
I'm on the message.
Shut up.
You're on speaker.
Very well. Our goals align if that is truly what you intend to do. Come closer.
We're in, lads. I start moving forward.
Okay.
I let him get 5 foot ahead before following.
That's fine. Yep.
No, I'm like, oh god, quick.
Yeah, no, it's like a halfling.
Wonderful.
Sacrifice.
So you guys
Play cool.
make your way forwards, heading towards the gatehouse. As you reach the point where you are passing and probably see the chasm, you are also up to your left able to see the rift. Just immediately there.
How far
Pulsing.
away is it?
You're talking maybe 600 or so feet.
Has it been
Where's
getting
that?
darker or has it been getting higher up?
It would have been done. Yeah, it would have been doing.
Where's the barrier that's stopping it just shooting lightning in?
Above it.
Above
The
it.
blue bit.
It's only above it.
Yeah, it's a dome around. But as you guys see it, I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw, please. As there's just a pulse.
That one. Let's see if
Oh, we get +3 from you, right?
Yeah.
Oh, 11. That was 12.
Nice.
+3.
Yeah.
Nice.
28.
28. You are fine.
10.
10. You fail.
Rip.
You gain an additional corruption point.
He wanted it as well.
Of course,
15.
I rolled a 20 on the corruption
15 is
roll.
a success because you are not corrupted currently.
13.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I-
13 is a fail.
16.
Is a fail.
already had corruption.
Was 17
Oh, yeah, 'cause I
part
got
of
1
that?
point.
17 was a fail
Oh, it
So
didn't
that was
sound about
pointless.
it.
I got 1 point of that fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
because you already had corruption. So now you have 2 points of corruption.
Nice.
22.
You're fine.
17.
17 is fine. Oh, I forgot to roll for Shamshir.
Rotting.
Shamshir's fine. Sad faces.
Oh, what
I've
do they
been
get?
so close on every one
Yeah.
of these rolls.
Go on. What fun things happen to us?
Your eyeballs
Oh, you're just
fall
at
out
you're
and
just
crawl
at 2
away.
corruption now. Nothing additional. You're just at 2 corruption.
Yet.
Your eyeballs walk
When
away.
I get
from you
harpooners,
and
I'm going to be like Spider-Man, like
Okay.
swinging around.
You have to figure out the
Wonderful.
right move first.
So as you guys start making your way closer, you see the rift. We'll call a quick little break. Just to quickly end. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Go check out our social media stuff, and we'll see you in part 2 momentarily. Bye.